Oh no, I did that. My bad. I am so sorry. Hello there, my YouTube friends and fans. Welcome back to 7 Days to Die. I actually only purchased this game because I am waiting for so many games to come out. And this is actually starting on August 8th with Mafia, the Old Country, and then August 22, Dying Like the Beast, and then after that, Gears of War Reloaded. Then there's a new DLC coming out for Indiana Jones, which I have to have, and then Borderlands 4, and then Silent Hill F, and whatever else is coming up. A lot of times there are games that I'm unaware of, and all of a sudden I hear about it, and then I have to have it too. So yeah, lots coming up. But until then, I am just enjoying 7 Days to Die, because this game, even though very old already, is still just an absolute blast, even though every time they have an update, you basically have to start all over. And while I'm a person who absolutely hates redoing things, replaying things, repeating things because life is too short, for some reason I don't mind it in this game. This is kind of like just for me like a fun, kind of arcade-ish kind of experience where you can just jump in. And the good thing is that every time they do an update, that it's not the same game. There's the world changes, the POIs change, they add more new fun stuff to it. So it's always like unpacking a Christmas gift just to see what's inside. Some of it you know, and some of it is new. I don't know. I seem to never get tired of this game. It's just an absolute blast. And I just love doing those jobs for those sweet rewards and other perks. But I often push myself to the limit. Like this job, I was like, well, it's like midday. I'm just gonna quickly do this garage, clean it out. And time just goes by so fast. All of a sudden, here it's like half an hour before night starts. And if you play this game, you know what I'm talking about. That's when stuff hits the fan and it gets crazy. So I'm thinking, well, I cleaned out a lot of zombies already. Shouldn't be too bad. But boy, was I wrong. I barricaded myself in the staircase and shut the metal door, and then decided to also put a hatch there so I have a little bit more protection. And that was actually a good idea, but you never know how to rotate it. Finally got it, and there was just a crowd outside the door, and that hatch was only a wooden hatch, so I knew that that's not gonna last too long unless I can keep them at bay and prevent that they're destroying the hatch. But that was a lot of work because they just kept coming and coming, and I was just hoping that I'm not gonna run out of ammo. But what really made this whole situation worse is the screamers. And there was not just one screamer, there was like at least 3 or 4 screamers. And whenever I thought I had the one screamer, another one appeared. And more zombies followed the screamer. So here's another one shooting the screamer, thinking hopefully that is it. But they just kept coming. But eventually it got actually really, really quiet. No more zombies, and I took advantage of like just fixing the HUD and just kind of making sure that I'm definitely safe here. I decided not to take any risk and get out of there, just wait until the night is over because I really wanted to finish this job and have that reward. Otherwise, I probably would have just left. And it was definitely worth it waiting this out. I even prepared some stuff here just for the worst case scenario, which never happened. I was so happy that I could finally leave this little room, which felt like I was waiting in here for like forever. And even though I shot so many zombies, it still said I have to clear the area. So I was wondering where the heck those lost zombies are. It took me a little while to find out that there is another room that belongs to the garage. And this is where things got crazy again. So I was trying to kind of prepare it so I can go in there and then jump back up. But while I was trying to prepare that, they already started attacking me. And then all of a sudden they came behind me. So that was completely unexpected. I was not prepared for that at all. So of course I had to retreat a little bit. And I was thinking, all right, well, so this whole effort that I did during the night was all for nothing. I don't think I'm gonna survive this. It was absolute madness. I mean, I was infected, I had a bruise, I was bleeding out, I was slumped over because I was exhausted. I was like, I can't take any more. But I was still desperate to survive it. I didn't want to give up just yet. There was a little glimpse of hope that I might be able to pull this off anyway. And I finally get the last couple of zombies taken out. It says return to trader. I knew job was completed. Even if I would die now, I knew I would still get paid for a job. Of course, I didn't want to die. That was definitely an intense night and an intense ending. But the adrenaline rush you always get from doing those jobs is just so addictive. And when I was still riding just the bicycle before I had the motorcycle, I was just like, there has to be a way where you can ride faster. When I was playing on PC, I remember that I was able to speed up the bike, but I just couldn't figure out how to do it on the controller. Finally took some time to go look, and there's actually a setting, even though it wasn't ideal. You cannot really pull the right trigger and the right bumper at the same time while riding the bike. I mean, you can, but it's super uncomfortable. So I just swapped those controls, and now I can do the left bumper and the right trigger, which is perfect. And I highly recommend this to you if you haven't done this yet. It makes a huge difference. While I did the batches at the very beginning of the game so I can go into all those biomes without a problem, the storms are still a problem and I really don't like them. I don't feel like they add anything good to the game because now you have to always be concerned that you are near a building when you go to a job or do anything, because if you don't get into cover or into a shelter early enough, you basically just die. And you're not safe on the ground, I found out. So I was mining and thinking, oh, I'm fine. I'm like way underground here. I could just keep mining while the storm is going. And the storms are super long. I mean, they feel super long. I was timing the storm, one of the storms, and it was exactly 7 minutes. And those 7 minutes feel like an hour. It's excruciating. You just sit there and you can't do anything and you just wait and you wait. Yeah, you can play around with your inventory, but you can't do much else. So for example, here, I made sure I was mining next to this building, which I cleared out beforehand. So once the storm arrived, I had a shelter to go to. And while that was ideal, it was still like a bummer because then I had to sit in this house for 7 minutes to just wait until the storm passes. And you can usually hear when it stops because it makes a lot of noise and then all of a sudden it gets quiet. And so you just kind of sit here, la 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 la. Finally, you can leave and it's, oh my God. And I haven't really timed yet how long it takes for in between the storms. I think it's a pretty long time. You can actually do a lot before the next storm arrives. So I've kind of been lucky and just kind of figured out a way how to work around those storms. But still, I don't think they added anything good to the game. I would be happier if they weren't in there. But hopefully they're going to improve that or remove it or whatever they're going to do. We'll see. But I really, really love this little house that I always use as my base. Not the horde base, just my regular home. Because it's just so ideal. It's small, I can really control the zombie attacks that happen here at night. It's very easy and quick to fix up. No problems at all. I feel like any bigger building, and I have tried that before, trust me, was just so much work to maintain. And also to kind of find out where the zombies are attacking at. Every time you thought, oh no, I'm good, you left for the day and you're like, oh God, they made a big hole here and they made a big hole there. Which is time that you have to spend fixing things instead of spending that time doing some fun things like, go and explore, doing jobs and just finding things in the world. And one thing I also had to learn, I have my water collector or dew collector out here in the front yard. And it never was a problem before, but all of a sudden one day I came home and it was gone. So a horde ran through when I wasn't here and destroyed it. I was pretty bummed about this because while it's not costing a lot to just make a dew collector, I had all 3 mods on it, so I had to get those mods again that I actually purchased at one point, and they're not cheap when you like start out on the game. So I was like, oh man, I gotta start over and build a new dew collector with all the mods that come with it. Oh well. But this time I tried to be smarter and actually built a little house just for the dew collector. Check this out. I hope that's gonna work. We'll see. I mean, I never had a problem with the dew collector before, but you know, with every update they make changes, and that's a new thing that there's hordes running through and destroy your dew collector. And it's not that regular zombies, it's special hordes that I was unaware of. Yeah, live and learn. And then I was so excited to finally build a gyrocopter, so I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be amazing. I can just fly to my jobs and I can land on the roofs of those buildings instead of down on the street, which should make the jobs much easier. But this thing is not easy to fly. First of all, you need kind of like an open area. Well, this is still not perfect here, but it's less woodsy than around my house. But I found out soon that there's still too many trees here. And then I found out you can't just go up and down with this thing. You have to kind of gain some speed, almost like with a plane, before it takes off. And then you're in the air and you're like, so how do I even tell it where to go? I mean, I can barely make it go in the direction I want to go. And then I feel like, how do I get up now? Do I just have to get down first again and gain some speed to get up again? I just couldn't figure out how to actually go up and down properly. So I was like, just don't crash. That's all I want to do. I mean, this would be such a great way to get around, but I wish the controls were more like they're in other games, like where you fly a chopper, where you could just push the right trigger to go up and the left trigger go down, or even the thumbsticks. But it just, whatever I tried, did not do what I wanted it to do. So I was like, I don't like this. This is just too clumsy for me. It was fun to try it out though. I was able to safely land it at least, but I did like damage to it for sure. You can see it's at 76% health. And I was like, yeah, no, I don't feel safe going to a job with this thing. What if I crashed and I don't have a way to get home? I have to walk home. Yeah, let's go park this thing and maybe try another time or never again. Motorcycle is still my favorite vehicle because it's just so versatile. It's just fun to ride too. I haven't even built the 4x4 truck yet because of that same reason, because you ride into a lot of rocks and you do a lot of damage to the vehicle. With the motorcycle, you can get through the smallest spots and it is super fast and you can just pick it up if you have to get through the river or anything like that. But definitely my absolute favorite vehicle in this game. So glad they put that in. And I used the same building for my horde base in this game like I did before the update. It's just a radio station close to my house. It is absolutely perfect. Up on the roof, you survive, you can look down, you can kill zombies. I just surround it with wooden traps, works like a charm, slows them down, kills them often. And it also prevents that I have to do too many repairs after. Up here I had to build some railing because that's the one thing I kind of hate about the console version, is that there are frame drops, and I fell down there a couple of times because of the frame drops. The game basically just pushed me forward. So I had to build this railing just in case this happens again. So at least I don't fall down there, because that's pretty much like game over for Horde Night. But from here, I can see where they come in most often. I can also look around. I build some more railings just because the game does the pushing around. But it's been working really, really well. I only really died once falling down there. I am now at like Horde Night day 112, going super well. And then Horde Night is over and I can go down and kill off the last few zombies. They're like in there still doing damage, which I don't like. But there are a lot more goodie bags at the end of each Horde Night than they ever used to be before. And I think they did that as an update because I'm doing the Horde Nights just the same way I did them before. And I never had so many goodie bags. I usually had like 3 or 4 and now I have like 20 or more. And that's definitely very much appreciated because it's always a lot of work to prep the building, like the base, then fix it up after. But it's also fun. I mean, I truly enjoy it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Leave some comments if you have some tips and tricks for me or if you have any questions. And I hope to see you next time. Until then, happy gaming. Take care. Bye-bye.